I'm Carrie, and I'm going to read a short part of my story that I wrote for the Oxford Christian Writers class. It's called Somebody to Love Me. Sometimes people often forget what it is like to have someone love you. Love can come in many different packages. Oftentimes people associate being in a relationship as being in love, when in fact we all receive a special kind of love that we forget even exists. God's love is a love that no one else can match, and when we find that love, like Trudy Jane finally did, we can all find true happiness in our lives. Trudy Jane was born in Beaverton, Maine on March 21, 1967. She was born to two working-class parents, John and Ruby Jane. Beaverton was a small town, and anything that happens in any house is known throughout the town. Trudy's mom, Ruby, left her and John behind when Trudy was 6 months old, as she could no longer take being a mother. John was left to raise Trudy all on his own. This was difficult for him, as he didn't really know how to raise a daughter. He did his very best, and Trudy grew up loving her father and never really missing the mother who ran out on them. Every bump, bruise, or scrape Trudy received throughout her childhood, John was right there to make her feel better. John made sure Trudy grew up knowing what love was, whether it came from him or God, and what hard work felt like. They did not have a lot of material things in life, but that was okay for Trudy, as long as she had her dad there. John worked as a mechanic, but he always made sure he was home to eat dinner with Trudy. They went to church every Sunday and went fishing every Saturday. This kind of bond between father and daughter was special for John, never remarried after his wife walked out, and he devoted any time he had to his other love, Trudy. As Trudy grew up, her father would ask the other ladies in the church for help. There were just certain things the father didn't understand when it came to his daughter. The ladies of the church were more than happy to help him out whenever he needed it, and Trudy came to love and trust her church family like they were her own family. God once again was shining his love through the ladies. As Trudy reached high school, her father noticed she began looking at boys in a different way. This made John apprehensive, for he did not know how he was going to deal with a daughter, because he wanted to make sure she was protected from any kind of hurt or pain. After the pain they had suffered losing her mother, he didn't want her to have to experience anything else like that again. Trudy grew into a beautiful teenager and had boys that would come calling for her. She begged her father to let her go. He hesitated, but realized he had to let her explore life a little. But he was not ready to lose his little girl just yet. He sat down and talked to any boy that came asking for Trudy, and made them understand that in no way was she to be hurt, or they would have him to deal with. Trudy was completely embarrassed, for as a teenager she just wanted to have fun. She forgot that her daddy was there just trying to love and protect her as he'd always done. Soon it came time for Trudy's senior year of high school. Her father knew exactly what this meant. It would be time to let her go. As her year went by, Trudy learned to drive, and her father bought her the best car he could afford. It was an old Chevy that he had fixed up, but Trudy didn't care. She was excited that she would have some independence and be able to go about town anytime she wanted. As her senior prom approached, Trudy was in love with the boy who was taking her. His name was Jeremiah Crabtree. He treated Trudy with the utmost love and respect, and her father came to like him too. Jeremiah came from a good family and was also a church-going young man who loved and feared God. As graduation approached, Trudy was excited at the opportunities that lay ahead in her life. Trudy was an extremely intelligent girl and received a scholarship to a college that was close by. She would only be 3 hours away from her father, so she told him she could come by every weekend to see him. Her father had a heavy heart with this, but he knew it was time to let her go. Trudy's first year of college was everything and more that she could have hoped for. She enjoyed the freedom and independence that came along with going to college. She was going to college to be a teacher. She had a love for children and knew that she had always wanted to work with them in some capacity. When she was at church, she always tried to work with them in Sunday school, and the children from her hometown grew to love her just as much as she had loved them. Trudy missed her home and her father most of all, but she believed she was having the time of her life. At school, Trudy and Jeremiah's relationship only grew closer. Her father told her to keep God in her heart, and he would make sure she got through any challenge. She had told herself that even though she was away from home, she would make sure to attend church as she had always done since she was little, but it was hard on her as she had other obligations to fulfill. She loved Jesus and still believed in him, but her obligations now fell in other places, and she slowly started drifting away from the church. The same was true for her relationship with her father. She was becoming her own woman now, and those weekly visits soon turned into monthly visits, and slowly turned into seeing her father every 3 to 4 months. Her father was a kind and understanding man towards his daughter, for he knew she was trying to find her own place in the world. As long as she called him every week, he was okay with her visits to him spreading out. Thank you.